Hello. Hello, everyone. Welcome. Happy Moonday. Meditating and breathing the past 20 minutes, so I feel so zenned out. Feels really good. So I'll take a moment here for those coming in, those getting ready. Now's a good time to breathe, relax, let go of the worries of the day. Drop into peace. Just as I was about to turn my camera on, all these noises appeared. My neighbor started mowing, and so it might be a little noisy. I'm sorry about that, but that's life. As long as you hear me, right? Welcome, everyone. Happy Moonday. It's amazing how much just some deep breathing can do. How are we doing, everyone? Hello, Infinite Moment Podcast. So beautiful. Highly recommend checking out that channel if you haven't already. AKA Eternal Truth. Yes. I titled this "Staying in the Heart" because I needed that reminder. It's so crazy because I feel like it can seem so chaotic, and a lot of times it helps to remember, drop back into the heart, because the mind, again, like we know, the mind is the place where so much confusion happens. The mind is what's been manipulated. So the mind can take you on tangents. It's insane. You can really see it in yourself and in others. That's kind of how it normally is it's usually easier to see it in others than it is in ourselves. But, you can really see how, like, the mind can just take you in infinite directions, which can be a blessing, but it can also sometimes be a curse when you can't ground into the truth, when you can't ground into the moment, the infinite moment, if you will, the present moment, where all of the truth is, all of the peace is. And it really is like a physical sensation that you can feel, when you're really in your head. When I say drop into the heart, I mean like drop into the heart. It's almost like one of those, I don't know if you guys ever seen, sometimes in like theme parks. I know the one I used to go to, they had a ride where they would just like drop you. And it kind of feels like that. You just kind of drop into the heart, and it's like a whole new level of reality. It's like peace, truth. It's a very good way to help ground yourself into now. So, yeah, before I dive into any deeper than that, I just wanted to start with that. I did title this "The Last Moonday?" question mark. It's probably the most clickbait title I ever made, but not really. But yeah, so this is kind of, I think this is, I don't want to say the last moon day ever, but I am going to be changing it up a bit. I just feel like it's time for a change and a shift in my world. So this is going to be the last official moon day for now. We'll probably be bringing it back maybe in the fall or something. Just kind of playing it by ear. I just really follow what I feel like my spirit's guiding me towards. But I love these so much. I feel like, I think I started this back in September, and it's just incredible how much growth, I've seen in myself and in all of us, we've been able to experience together every week. It's crazy how fast time has flown. So yeah, so I just want to kind of let everyone know that things are changing a little bit in that way, and I'm still going to be posting, obviously, probably just as much. That's my intention, but just getting. I feel like it really helped me to do this consistently, but now I feel more like being more spontaneous. Um, yeah, and working on other things. I hope the album process is going well. Where can we hear your music? We're able to expand. Oh my goodness. I hope that background noise isn't too bad. I'm sorry about that. It's like, can't make it up. So, just gonna wait 1 second. Yeah, most of my music right now, that's something that I'm gonna have to basically keep you posted on, because thank goodness. Okay, I think it's done. Okay, I'm gonna keep you posted on. The album process is going well. There's been a few, I would say, delays, but I'm trusting the process. It's not really something on my end, but yeah, I'm gonna have to keep you guys posted. But that is, my biggest goal at the forefront right now is finishing that album, um, coming out with more music. I have so much music. It's just a matter of, I guess, time and energy and getting to share it. So really, as of now, YouTube is still the best place. I know I only post a few songs, but I'm going to be posting more. And yeah, thank you for asking that question. Definitely gonna keep you posted on that one. But once I have things up, I am gonna have my album on like Bandcamp and Spotify and iTunes, like major things like that. I am gonna be doing that as well. So just, I guess I have to be patient. But definitely, I would say, um, yeah, I don't know. I don't want to say a date because it's just kind of been crazy. But I would say definitely this summer for sure. But yeah, I will keep you posted on that. I'm really, really excited for that. I can't wait. Thank you for asking that. Um, what else? Yeah. And another exciting announcement for those of you who are here, who have been coming to the Moondays, and really, if you've really been enjoying this, or if you want to continue to have these kind of interactions, but even go to the next level, or if you just want to support me in general, I put it in the description box. But I just started a Patreon, and it's starting at just $5.55 a month. So if that's something you'd be interested in, I'd really appreciate it, because it is a lot of time and energy to put some of these things together. So that really, really does help. If that's something you'd be interested in, I'd be very grateful. Um, and I'll just enter it in the chat here too. So as it's something that's going to be continuing to expand, but as of now, it's just one tier, and it's just $5.55. And you also get access to a monthly meeting, Zoom meeting for all of us. So that's kind of the continuation of this, I would say, is, that's a place where I can share, what's coming up for me to all of you more freely and uncensoredly, which is exciting. But then also, that's a place where anyone, if you really resonate with my work, you can also be a part of that. I know some people are shy, but, if you just want to kind of be a part of that, or you can also be more active. That's going to be a Zoom meeting. So that's something where you guys, we can actually start to have like more of an active community, where it's not just necessarily me talking to people, but me talking with people. And just kind of keeping that open for more community sharing. If you have anything you want to share, whether it's ideas, expressions, questions, projects you're working on, it's just kind of the next step of building the community. And there is going to be Discord as well. That's something that I'm still learning to use the Discord. So yeah, really, really exciting. And I'm just going to let it flow organically and see how it goes. But if you resonate with my work and that's something you're interested in and you want something like a community of empowerment and support and upliftment, in the spiritual journey, walking your organic path, that is something that I will be doing and offering. So hope to see you all there. Thank you. And yeah. And then also just a reminder as well, I do have services on my website if you're interested. I do R.A.A.H Reiki or hypnosis. Teach Reiki. I am a Reiki master teacher. So if you've ever wanted to learn Reiki for yourself, to do for yourself and on others, traditionally Soy Reiki, I also teach and certify all levels of that. So all of that you can find on transformingthedarkness.com. All right. What a mouthful. It's just so much to say, but it's important. And yeah, just thank you all so much for all of your love and support. I'm just so grateful to be here. It's just such a gift. I'm so excited to continue just kind of feeling out how my soul wants to express and how I can best serve in this time, because it's always kind of shifting and changing. All right, enough about that. Hello, Art of Arts. Good to see you. Thank you, Eternal Truth. Thank you so much for that beautiful super chat. I'm so grateful for you, always just holding the space so beautifully. Beautiful brother. All right. So, yeah, staying in the heart. I'm just going to kind of flow with this. This was like the big one that was coming up, because I think I feel like it's just something that's such a cornerstone, especially like in the truther communities, the spiritual communities, or whatever communities. I feel like we think a lot about, there's a lot of like mental stuff happening, but I feel like it's so important to remember to ground into the heart space. It may not always seem like the most exciting thing to the mind, but oftentimes it's really what we need, because something I've been seeing a lot is like our greatest visions are in our heart. It's grounded in our heart. And that's really a big part of how we create. How we create reality is, it's not just about visualizing it, that's part of it, but it's really the heart. That's how we pull it towards us, pull these creations, these timelines, these things we want to experience by feeling our way to them, starting to feel our way into this higher love, feel our way into this beauty, into this abundance, into this, whatever it is, this wholeness we're trying to create. It really is so much in the heart. And it's just such a beautiful reminder, I think. And something I've been feeling a lot lately, I feel like it has to do maybe with like all this Taurus energy, which is a little bit different from me. I'm definitely, like I said, I'm not super earthy. The earth energy sometimes is a little bit, it felt almost like unfamiliar to me. So at first I was trying to kind of like, I don't know, I think I was kind of resisting it, and I finally learned to kind of see what, it has to teach me, because even though the sun just left Taurus, there's a lot of planets in Taurus, a lot of stuff happening in Taurus. And, from what I've experienced and understand, Taurus right now, Taurus is it's an earth sign, and it's very kind of like slow and steady. And that's just kind of how I've really been feeling, because everything feels so intense, like going up and down and up and down. Again, I think it's the mind. I know I've been experiencing that a lot, and I know like people around me as well. Just kind of like that ping pong, that duality, that, just the contrast. It's pretty wild. So I guess that's just another reminder of coming into the heart. And if anyone else resonates with like what I'm saying, of like really remembering the long term, not just what's going to happen tomorrow, but remembering what you're creating in the long term, because time is strange. Time is not what we think it is. You can actually feel too, I've talked about it before, how time is moving so strangely at this point, but I don't know, that's just another thing of like, you know, we talk about it all the time, but it's so important to remember to enjoy the process, you know, enjoy the process of what we're creating, because that's the heart of creation. It really is the journey, you know, it's not just about the destination. So in those moments, I think it's important to kind of slow down. And it's not even to slow down as in not doing the things you want to do, but just slowing down and taking time to appreciate the present moment and appreciate where you are right now. And also appreciate that what you're trying to create is already done, you know, instead of resisting it. So just a few reminders on that front, and some specific ways that have been helping me in doing that kind of thing is one, again, the breath, the breathing. There's a really good quote about breath saying that breath is an analogy for how you're living your life. You know, and what that means is, you know, if we're shallow breathing all the time, we're not really breathing. It's you know, it's usually parallel to how we're receiving life in general. You know, we're usually, if you're shallow breathing, you're kind of anxious, you're not really soaking in life, you're not really taking in life fully. You know, you're kind of you know, it's interesting analogy, and I think it's really true. And you really start to experience it. You know, that's literally one of my biggest goals right now, simply, is to remember to breathe more deeply, like throughout my day, and kind of retrain my body to just be breathing more deeply. Because again, it's an analogy for being able to receive, you know, to be able to really receive the present moment, to really be able to receive all this life force energy, prana energy around you, when you're able to carry your breath without any resistance throughout your day. It's so simple, but it's so powerful. It's one of those things, again, like I feel like our minds, our egos will be like, you know, that's so trivial. It's so small, but at the same time, you know, breathing is one of the few constants of this life. You're always breathing. So what's the quality of your breath like? You know, and what is the quality of your breath like? It really will change your life. So that is a huge one, is coming back to the breath. I mean, it's so good. Even like going into more like trance states, if you're trying to get clear on something, if you're trying to receive maybe some clarity or guidance from your heart, the first step is literally breathing. And it's usually when you don't want to start breathing deep, when you need to breathe deeply the most, you know. It's funny how that stuff works, but it's so true. Because as soon as you start breathing deep and slowing down your breath, you know, if you commit to that process, you almost immediately start to enter calmer brain waves, you know, and that's how you can actually enter trance very easily, very simply, is by breathing deeply. And you can start to, when you start, if you really go into it, if you're going into some kind of meditation or something, that's why you get into that theta brainwave. And that's, you know, that's where you're able to have these more mystical experiences. That's where you're able to start tapping into your imagination, which is your third eye, which is like your steering wheel into infinity. um, you know, so that's how you're able to start accessing, you know, these deeper and these higher aspects of yourself simply through breathing. It's so simple, you know, don't have to complicate it. It's so beautiful. It's so good to just receive that. Eternal Truth 478, breathing and box breathing are great worth to try. Yeah, yeah, that's powerful. Box breathing. It just makes me want to breathe right now. It's so good. So yeah, that really helps. And again, kind of like I was talking about before, just really anchoring into like the wholeness, you know, into wholeness, into accepting what is fully, accepting what is and accepting all that you are fully. There's so much power in that, like consistently, getting into like these habits, which everything is a practice. Unconditional love is a practice. Happiness is a practice. These are all things that, we can choose to practice in our lives. And, I think we're so wired to practice things like anxiety, practice worrying, or these kinds of states of things. And I think it's important again to just accept all that you are fully, as you are first, and just move with that energy. Just let it flow. And then as it flows naturally, you'll start to, as you start to just breathe into whatever it is now, whatever all you are now, you naturally start to kind of reharmonize yourself with God's source within you. It's so natural. It's so beautiful. So yeah, I feel like that really is simple, the heart of the message today. I don't feel like I need to complicate it too much, unless any of you guys have any other things you want to talk about or any questions you want to talk about. I'm always open to that. It's so beautiful, for those of us, at least especially those of us up north. It's so beautiful, this coming back of spring, coming back of summer. It's so revitalizing. It's such a peak time. I can already feel it. It's so wild. Another thing I've been observing, and I'm curious if you guys have experienced this as well, is just this that I feel like used to make me feel kind of nostalgic. Like, oh, this reminds me of like something from the past. And what's interesting is like, I feel like I'm feeling that less and less, and I'm feeling more and more just like, I don't even know what this is. It's literally Uncharted Territory, just like the energy of the earth. I don't know how to explain it. Maybe that sounds like crazy, but it really is how I feel. It's like very interesting. And it's funny. It makes me laugh how like casual everyone is about how strange this is. I know I talk about that a lot, but it really is. It's like on one hand, I can feel everything getting so light. Like things are getting so light in so many ways. But then at the same time, there's like, you know, like I would say again, like just like those inverted energies, the energies of the inverted matrix getting more desperate and crazy. And then just kind of watching, how we as humanity and we as individuals get the choice to navigate it is really interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I think we're doing a really great job. It's just important to remember to have so much love for yourself, so much compassion for yourself, so much, so much. And also remembering to continue your sovereignty, though. Just because things are getting lighter right now, this is something I've been really feeling, to be honest. Just because things are getting lighter, it doesn't necessarily mean like lowering down your discernment or lowering down your spiritual protection, because it's like, I don't know how to explain it. I don't like to sound paranoid or make people paranoid, but there is still a lot of like spiritual attacks that I see going on as well. Again, I don't say that to cause fear or be paranoid, but it's just something to be aware of. So it is important to to maintain your sovereignty, your sovereign energy. Things are getting lighter, but at the same time, it's, we're still kind of in the middle of like this evolution, of this shift, of this um, breaking out of these dense patterns and these dense consciousnesses, these dense realities. But, anybody who's watching this, that, like Eternal Truth just said, we hold the power. We do. There's always a way. There's always a way, to free yourself, to, claim back your power, to claim back your creativity. You're never abandoned. God will never abandon you, no matter what. You're always loved, and we all go through a lot, in our own ways. We all go through a lot in this life. It's not you being punished, there's nothing wrong with you. It's literally just part of this experience. Something else that I've been thinking about recently is, and I've shared this before, but, so much of what many of us are healing in our ancestral line is we feel so much because so many of our ancestors before us, they couldn't feel, they didn't have the capacity to feel those things because they were so in survival mode. So coming out of this density, it is like coming out of survival mode. So there's a lot of things that, even though you could just be like chilling, it's like a lot of things that can come up. It's really interesting. And just remember, there's a word in Portuguese that they use a lot in Brazil when they're doing spiritual works, when it gets intense, is firmeza, have firmeza, which is firmness and focus. Even when things get crazy around you, even when things get crazy within you, that's really when it gets wild. When you feel this chaos, that's when it's most important to have that firmness, just hold this, just hold the light, because it's all gonna shift. Nothing is permanent. All this, even when you're going through a lot of maybe anxiety or something, or doubt or anger or whatever it is, it feels like it's going to last forever, but it's not. It's going to shift. Everything shifts. Everything moves. So you got to do what you do to just allow that energy to move through you. But the most courageous thing you can do is to feel it. It is to feel it. To feel it fully. Like, go right into it, devour it, because that's where you're going to find your greatest power there. And you're also going to actually move through it most gracefully, really, than if you're just trying to kind of avoid it, and it's just kind of that's really when it can kind of get not stuck, but that's when it will, what you resist persists. Another thing, now it's all coming to me. I was kind of like feeling blank there for a second, but now it's coming to me. But speaking of the chaos, I saw this meme earlier. I might end up sharing it because it actually inspired a poem in me, but it was this meme just kind of being funny, but it says, "Chill, it's only chaos." And I just think that's funny. It brings humor to something that's very real, because again, we feel so much chaos in this world, in this life. And something that's, I've been thinking about is, I know this is just my take on it, but in ancient Egypt, you see the snakes a lot. You see, like, in a lot of their headpieces, they would have the snakes. And from what I understand, part of why they did that is because the snake represented chaos, but it represented being able to harness that chaos for creation. And I think there's something really powerful in that, to, instead of fearing that chaos, instead of fearing that like primordial energy, that, that's kind of like that root Kundalini energy, is that raw, primal, it feels like chaos sometimes. And so kind of, instead of being afraid of it, or, it's just interesting. The more we can kind of like pull it upwards, kind of like pulling it upwards, like that Kundalini energy, like pulling it upwards within us and being able to be responsible, instead of reactive with it, we're able to do so much. It's so crazy. It's so crazy how, again, I think so much of this evolution is just remembering. It kind of is like so much like repetition, because you just have to remember a lot of these really simple and basic truths. That's something I've been kind of also saying to myself lately, is like, I would rather be going in the direction of truth at like 3 miles per hour than going like 1,000 miles per hour into the illusion, and that's what the ego often does. It's like, I need to go. And so it's like you're moving so fast, but it's like, where are you even going? It's like you're going a million miles an hour into the illusion. You're going nowhere, versus like to just, even if you're going very slow and steady, if you're moving into truth, that's what I want to do. So it's just something to think about. And again, it kind of just comes back to being in the heart, where it's so simple. It's so simple because, again, the heart knows. In the mind, it's like a million different ideas and possibilities of like, oh my God, you can get so lost. It's like a house of mirrors sometimes in there. So when you feel that and you feel like confused in that, that's when it's like good to remind yourself to literally drop into the heart, where you will find that clarity, that knowing, not believing. You don't need to believe in anything. That's when you know. Hi, Johnny. Good to see you. Eternal truth. Part of my drive of promoting a healthy lifestyle is due to seeing the unhealthy habits of extended family. Yeah, definitely understand that one. It's crazy. That's another thing that's funny that I'll share as well. Is like sometimes, um, I think it's normal. We all question ourselves sometimes. Like, am I crazy? Like, am I crazy? Am I insane? And my partner asked that the other day when we were talking about something. And but then the next response to me is like, compared to what though? Crazy compared to what? Because we literally live in such a crazy world. It's like most of the mainstream traditions and ideas are literally insane. So, that's why it's so important to be grounded in your heart, because that's where the truth is, and just follow your path to God's source above all else, and that will lead you to your greatest potential and where you're supposed to be. That's really our greatest guidance. That's our greatest protection. That's our greatest joy. Stay in the love vibration. Exactly. J. Cole, good news is you went a long way. Bad news is you went the wrong way. Yeah, exactly. That's so funny. And like, it's sometimes like the ego is like, oh, it's so productive. It's like, is it though? You're going a million miles an hour right into the illusion, right into the mind control, or nowhere. You're just spinning your wheels in like this same. It's so interesting how we do that. That's why it's so good to change things up. I think as human beings, a lot of us can be afraid of change and changing, but it's so good to change things up in your life, because that's like you're gonna, it's like when you change something, you're gonna have some kind of a different result. So I think that's exciting. It's like it's almost like in a way where we really are like pioneers, and sometimes in some ways it's like you kind of have to experiment with what works for you and what doesn't. So trying new things, even like these things you normally wouldn't do. Like maybe you would never paint a picture. Maybe you would never make a salad. Make a salad. Just little things. Literally, that's what I do. Like literally, like I usually take the stairs, so I'm gonna take the escalator today. Just little things like that. Just change it up. It's like, I don't know. I think there's interesting experience in that. Hello, Amanda. If these beliefs make me insane, well, at least I know I tried to choose the loving, truthful version of insanity. That's funny. That's true. Yeah, yeah. It's interesting. I mean, it's like what a quantum realm we live in. Truly, it's so powerful. What's being revealed to us. More and more, a little bit every single day. Even if it feels like sometimes we have to take a step backwards to take 3 steps forward. That is a thing. That really is a thing. So again, the last thing I'll say here today, which is so important. And literally, I feel like my higher self and guides hammer this into me, and I'm like, man, this is this is a little ridiculous. No, I'm just kidding. But trusting the process. It's so important to trust. I think it's, if you know that you're in your heart, that you're, you know calling upon the God source energy within you and around you every single day, and you're in your heart and you're doing your best, you really have to trust, that is enough. And that's it. That's enough, because it seems like the second you try to control and manipulate things, it just gets to be so draining. We don't understand the picture that our higher self has. We don't understand the picture that God has, when we're creating. And I think everyone should dream big. I think it's really important to have big manifestations, because we are creator beings. So they will come to be. And it's not even just about the manifestations. It's the fact that when you have these like big dreams, naturally it's gonna shift you, that's gonna help you to like transform, if that's what you're trying to do. I mean, that's what I'm trying to do. It is an intense path, but it is a worthwhile path. It will shift you so much, because when you see and you feel these these beautiful manifestations of love, it pulls you into these new states of being. That's kind of a motivator for pulling you into these new states of being, and really having to let go, this natural process of letting go of things no longer serving you and bringing in new things. So beautiful, you guys. I think I just want to do maybe a little breathing, and a little meditation, and complete this beautiful moon day, this last moon day for now. Because, yeah, I'm feeling a lot of love, but I feel like the words are a little too much for me right now. So much love and gratitude to all of you. Eli says, if you question your insanity, you're fine. Crazy people don't question themselves. Yeah, exactly. All right. If you're still with me, hey, have you noticed the Cheshire Grin Noon? That's a new one for a lot of us. I don't know if I know what you're talking about. I'm curious, though. Maybe you could elaborate. Very curious. All right, beautiful souls. If you're still here, if you want to partake in a little breathing, a little peace for your day, a little healing, a little group healing sesh. If you can go ahead and close your eyes and get comfortable. Breathe. Easy, deep, slowly. You are worthy of big, beautiful, expansive breaths, just filling your whole being with so much love. Dropping into the heart. Seeing if there's any messages for you in the heart right now. Just allowing. Feeling your infinite worthiness. Feeling how loved you are. Feeling all the love, in this earth and beyond. You are so loved. More than you probably even know. You have so many people, so many beings who absolutely love you and are so grateful for you and all you are. Thank you. You are a child of God. You are doing amazing. You've got this. You've got it. So beautiful. Thank you all. I love you all so much. So grateful. Definitely check out what we got going on Patreon if you would like to support my work, my music. There's going to be more music coming out. I'd be so grateful and want to continue this community. Then, yeah, please check it out. All right. So much love, you guys. So much gratitude. I hope you all have the most beautiful day, and I'll see you very soon. Thank you.